So this is probably the perfect time to film a video because the sun isn't too bright. There's still clearly a little bit of brightness, as you can see by the glare, but it's like not so much bright that it dominates the screen. So, unfortunately, I forgot to make a top 5 Wednesday video for this week's topic, so I'm just gonna, I did do it, I did turn it in, turn it in like it's a school assignment, but I did turn it in. I have decided that I probably should film my top 5 Wednesday videos, not at last minute, but much earlier, like maybe a few days earlier or something. So, but I'm going to film something else right now. Something I have not done in a while, and that is a character discussion video. And I would like to discuss one of my favorite female characters, and that is Cress from the Lunar Chronicles. She is probably my favorite character in the series. Next would be Winter, and then Scarlet, and then Cinder would be last. I know, she's the main character, how could she be last? But you know what, I mean, we all have our preferences. We all have our favorites, and Cress is my favorite of the series. And Cress, this is the 3rd book. This is when she's introduced. We do get a little hint of her in the book Scarlet, but then, her actual story is in this one. And this is based on the whole, in the Lunar Chronicles, all the stories are based on fairy tales, and this one is based on Rapunzel. So you have all these references to Rapunzel, like Cress's hair is long, although she has to cut it off at one point in the beginning in this story. Thorn's name, Carswell Thorn, his name is Thorn, and the prince gets, the evil witch that kept Rapunzel prisoner in the tower. When she found out that a prince was seeing Rapunzel and coming up into her tower, she tricked him and then made him fall into into thorns, and when he fell out of the tower, because I believe he falls out of the tower or something, or maybe when he's climbing down he falls, but he ends up landing in thorns and blinds himself. So, and then some of the references to the original fairy tale his name is Captain Carswell Thorn, and there's Rapunzel in the story, Cress is trapped on a satellite because it's a science fiction series. She's trapped on a satellite as, spying on the people of Earth. And the satellite and the Scarlet, Wolf, and Cinder are coming to rescue her because they find out that she is a spy. The Lunars have been using her skills with computers and technology to spy on Earth. And when they come rescue her, they try to rescue her, and the rescue mission goes awry. Thorn is left behind, and then the satellite, falls out of orbit, and I think Carswell gets knocked in the head, causing him to be blind. So this is, like I said, this is my favorite out of the series, and first of all, I love her relationship. They are my favorite ship in this whole series. Carswell, Thorn, and Crescent Moon, actually. Her name is Crescent Moon. I just love it. First of all, and here's what I love about Cress. She is adorable. She is so sweet and so adorable, and she's so excitable. She's like a little puppy dog that you just want to take home and, and play with and stuff. And she's such a sweet person. She's so compassionate and kind, and she's really smart. She's like a computer genius. Like the lunar queen, Queen Levana, because she finds out that even though Cress is a shell, which is basically lunars that don't have the gift to, control your minds, because lunars have the ability to manipulate your brainwaves. And unfortunately, Cress was one of those people that was born without that gift. So, and they call those people shells. And so, but Queen Levana and her head Thaumaturge, Sybil, I can't remember her last name, they find out that Cress has the ability. She is like a computer genius. She's really highly intelligent, and they decide to use her to spy on Earth. So they put her on the satellite, moving the satellite in orbit, and give her all the technology that she needs to spy on Earth. Unfortunately, that means she's all alone on that satellite with no friends, and the only thing she has is like her TV, her computers and her TV shows that they have that apparently like soap operas and stuff never come of style in this world. So that's her only comfort. And I guess the Lunars find out about Carswell, Thorn, and Cinder and everything, and they are sent to because I think in the first book, Queen Lavanna, when she comes to Earth, she sees Cinder and recognizes who she is, and that she is a threat. And so I think she asked Sybil to have Cress spy on her and Thorn, who she gets to help her when they both are in prison and they escape together. But she is just Cress is such a sweet, adorable character, and she sees the good, even though Thorn tells her that, you don't want to like me because she develops this adorable little crush on him because she learns all these things about him and investigates and everything, and learns of occasional moments where he actually is a decent guy, and does these honorable, charitable things. But deep down, he's a bit of a con artist. He's a bit of a ladies' man, but Cress does not see. She sees that he is a good guy, and she has such strong belief in him. Of course, as this story progresses, he slowly convinces her otherwise. But she doesn't entirely lose faith, and she doesn't entirely get over her infatuation with him, even though he does these things that cause her to lose faith in him. And realize, I have this moment of, I was so naive to trust him and to have this little fantasy of him being a good guy. But of course, they end up being a couple, so that he ends up proving her wrong. And I've always had a soft spot for those kind of romances. The kind where a girl changes a guy. I know realistically people probably don't ever change, although I don't entirely agree with that. I think people do change if they want to. I think people can change if they want to. But don't just change for someone else. Change for yourself. But I've always been a sucker for those kind of romances where the guy, becomes a better person or the girl becomes a better person or wants to become a better person for someone else. I think those are sweet romances. I think they're very cute. And these two are just, Thorn and Cress are just adorable. Not just Cress herself, but their pairing is just, it's too cute. Now, the only negatives about Cress is that she is a bit naive. Like I said, she has this massive crush on Thorn, but she doesn't know him in person. She only knows what she's researched and learned about him, but she doesn't know him as a person. Oh, I got a text from my aunt. I'll have to check that later. She doesn't know him as a person. She doesn't know the kind of guy that he is. That he's a bit of a ladies' man. He's a bit of a charmer. But she's a bit naive, and she's lived on this satellite all her life. So this other negative aspect about her personality is not entirely her fault. And that's that she's lived on the satellite her whole life, alone with nobody to talk to, no friends. So she becomes very clingy and is easily impressed, which can be both a good and bad thing. Like I said, she's a bit naive and a bit too trusting, and which results in and can get her into trouble. So, and she's also very socially awkward and very shy. Which that's another reason why I love this character, because I could totally relate to this character. So, which actually brings me back to the thing, which has made me come to realize that it's a little unfair of me to get on my friends, to judge my friend for not wanting to, like, having to always relate to to the main characters in books. Because, yes, it makes the character more appealing and likable to you as a reader if you can relate to the character on some level. And I really relate to Cress, because she is very socially awkward and very shy, and I am a lot like that. I mean, I've gotten better as I've gotten older, especially now that I'm working and I have a job. I am forced to socialize, and my parents aren't always there for me to hide behind. And that's part of my problem, is when my parents are around, it's a little too easy for me to hide behind them. But if they're not around, I am forced to talk to people myself and interact with people. And unfortunately, not everybody can end up in a situation where the world is in danger and it's your responsibility to help protect it. I mean, not everybody is lucky enough to be in that kind of situation. But the only thing I don't relate to with Cress is her computer skills. I mean, I'm okay. I mean, according to my parents, I'm probably better at computers than they are. Or at least I'm better at, getting through, getting through things and understanding and being able to use it. But I don't know. I don't know though. I mean, I am definitely not like this girl. I am so not as smart as she is, as far as, as it comes to technology and stuff. I wouldn't be able to figure it out. But I do think they could use her in the government, because she would be really good at that, at a government position. Despite her personality. I mean, despite her being antisocial, although she likes to socialize and she wants to socialize with me friends, it's just she's not very good at it, because she hasn't been around people enough to be good at it. Let's see, what else? Are there any other thoughts on the character that I like? You gotta love her hair, because, she's probably got really awesome hair. I wonder if they made this into a movie. I guess they would put extensions on the character, on the actress, whoever played her. And then, I love how in the story she progresses and becomes such a strong character throughout this novel, into the last one, and into, and in Stars Above. The last story in Stars Above is the story about after everything that happens in these books. That's what the last story in the book Stars Above, the novella stories. Although I guess, like I said, I figured out that those might be considered short stories. So those are my thoughts on Cress. Cress is an awesome, lovable, fun little character that's, that she's very flawed, but she's also just I remember what ended up happening. What happens is, I remember in this story, just by reading the back, I was reminded what happens. What she does is, in Scarlet, she contacts Cinder and her friend, Cinder and Scarlet and the others. She figures out who Cinder is. Well, I guess she would know, because she was a spy. She was a spy for them. So she tries to warn Cinder and contact her, but then it all goes wrong, and, Scarlet gets captured, and I think the satellite crashes. So yeah, that I think that's what happens. She calls to them, contacts Cinder and the crew, and like messages them to come save her because she knows she wants to help Cinder. But yeah, and obviously Cress is my favorite one of the series because, first of all, my main character and my main couple is what this book is about. So those are my thoughts on Cress. And I will and I will soon, at some point again, I will film another video on another character. I'm having trouble picking characters because I've come to when I started watching BookTube and making BookTube videos, I had sadly come to realize that I feel like I haven't read. I know it's not a competition, but I still felt like I hadn't read enough. Like, I focused mainly on stuff like Harry Potter, Twilight, Cassandra Clare's books, like the Shadowhunter Chronicles, and some classics. But I feel like there's so much more that I missed, that I haven't read. And there's definitely a lot more classics that I would love to read. So, it's a good thing and a bad thing. Like, BookTube has definitely helped me come to realize that there's a lot more out there, but also I feel like there's not enough characters for me to talk. There are a lot of characters. There's a lot of characters in those books that I mentioned, but they're so common, Everybody knows about those characters. And sometimes I want to talk about characters that people don't know about. And also, I try to avoid talking about TV screen characters, but I will throw them in because, like, the first character I talked to you guys about was a character on a TV show. So I'm definitely going to throw in some TV characters as well. It's probably about time that I do. So the next one might be a TV character, at least the next female character. So anyway, that is my discussion on the character of Cress and why I love this character. Bye!